Rams. My name is Sarah Owens, and I am here with my fellow reporters from Texas Wesleyan's live event that took place on Wednesday, April 5th, courtesy of the Mass Communications and Criminal Justice Department for the spring semester 2017 Integrated Media course. While I had the privilege of taking the role of a multimedia reporter, let me introduce you to the rest of my crew. We have Chaylon Anderson, who was a multimedia reporter, Matt Smith, who was a text reporter, Colt Taylor, who was a text reporter, Maddie Morris, who was a social media reporter, April Suarez Olvera, who was a social media reporter, and Guadalupe Sanchez, who was a social media reporter as well. So Guadalupe, why don't you give our listeners a synopsis of the crisis that took place?
So the crisis that took place was a superhero battle that happened in the Texas Wesleyan campus and left it in shambles.
It was a lively event, that is for sure. Wouldn't y'all agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So, Jelon, how do you think our group performed overall?
I think the group performed very well together. We got a lot of good information out to the public very swiftly. We worked well together. I think the best thing that we did was probably after the press conference when everything ended. We were one of the many people that stayed behind to try to get the full story and see what was going on that we didn't get during the press conference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Rebecca Aguilar really harped on us for not communicating better as a team, which in hindsight, I think I'd have to agree with because I didn't realize that I needed to tell the editors what images and videos I liked best. I just made the assumption that they would choose what they wanted and go from there. So do y'all feel like Rebecca assisted us well? So why or why not?
Somewhat. She had some good advice to offer. However, she also offered some dubious advice, to say the least. So I took what she said with a grain of salt. I'll try to use what I felt was useful, but she also suggested something I found unethical and did not justify it to me when I brought it up to her.
Yeah.
I don't know, for me, I learned from Rebecca to never, ever, ever tweet a list of dead people's names without letting their family members know first, because she politely told me my ass would have been fired if I did that in the real world. So I feel like I kind of learned a lot from her.
Yeah, she definitely was aggressive, but I think was helpful in like telling us that we can't just be passive about what we're doing. So April, what do you think were some of the best things that we did or what we could have maybe done better?
Okay, so the best thing that I think we did is that as soon as the first press conference was over, was that we like went out and we looked for Spider-Man and we communicated among each other to like tell each other where he was and like so that we could get our information. And then the bad thing, or like the not so good thing that I think we did was that after every press conference, or like during the press conferences, as reporters, we didn't really have direction and we really didn't know what to ask or what to do or from what angle to take a picture or record. I think that's when the professionals came in hand, because I think Rebecca, during the process, actually did help us and gave us, although her advice was kind of blunt and aggressive, she did give us direction in the end. So I think that's where we needed the most help, was like during the press conference and stuff.
Yeah. So speaking of the press conference, Colt, is there anything you wish you had known prior to this conference?
Yes. Apparently, some of the staff in the student union building had been given information on the event that we could have gone and asked them. However, I wasn't aware of who all was in on it. And after asking the president's secretary about the event, she seemed not in the loop. So I assumed that this was only in the communications department. I only found out it was involving the student union people as well after the event. So I wish I had kind of known that.
Yeah. So Matt and Maddie, we've got a question for you guys. What advice would y'all give to students who will be acting in similar ways this time next year?
So I would say that you cannot take things personal. There was a lot of people who took things very to heart, and it kind of stepped in the way of what they were doing, and they were getting upset. So I would just tell the people in a crisis event like this, you can't take things personal. So that's what I would tell people for next year.
Me personally, I'd say the important thing would be to get up and move around, try to think on your feet, take in information, try not to panic or get in a rush, but at the same time, remember to keep efficiency as a priority. It's important because in a live crisis event, you have to really try to get as much verified information as you can and get it out there. And it can really cause a lot of problems if you make a small mistake, or you just something in that manner.
Yeah, I'd also say that just for the people next year, that they need to know that this is very fast paced. So with whatever you're doing, you need to make sure you're on top of it. And if you have one thing and another, like go to that one thing and then right after go to the other thing. That way you have all your information that you need for this crisis event.
Yep, I think staying on top of things and hustling is a huge part of reporting.
Also, it's supposed to be fun. Like, not all majors and departments do something like this, so they should probably remember to just take a breath and relax and just remember that this is supposed to be fun. Yes, it's going to be hard work and you're going to be running around all day, but at the end of the day, this is something to help us, and don't freak out if something happens and something doesn't go your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not perfect and you make mistakes. So if you make a mistake, that's what I'm saying, don't take it to heart and just move on from it and learn from it. And then, you just go from there, so.
Yeah, chime in. Well, I'd like to chime in for 1 second, going off of what Challen said.
Yeah, go for it.
And basically, I mean, she kind of overplayed it, saying that it was like hard work, or you may have to run around a little bit, but it wasn't that bad.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think the multimedia reporters had to hustle big time, because I remember chasing Spider-Man across campus.
Okay, I am a text reporter.
Cole, what are you running with your laptop?
I have my huge laptop and my coat and my phone. I chased Spider-Man from the library to the admissions building, into the president's office, where he politely pushed me out of it, and then I followed him from there to the business center, all while running with this jacket and this laptop, and it was not a jacket day, I will tell you that.
Oh, you know what? That reminds me of something, too. Rebecca had gotten on to me when I came back to the editor's office with a video I had taken where Spider-Man had taken a pillow that he had and kind of shoved it in my face. And, of course, I just kind of giggled and then took a step back. And she was like, no, as a woman who is a reporter, you need to be aggressive and assertive and be sure to make comments like, you have no right to touch me, do not touch me, keep your hands off my equipment, which I was kind of surprised by, because I think I'm just not super aggressive in nature, but I do think it's important as a woman to be sure to stand your ground, and that way people don't take advantage of you.
Rebecca is my spirit animal.
Oh, girl, she's feisty.
She was a shark. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
If for a woman, make sure you wear the right shoes, because I couldn't chase Spider-Man. So, wear right shoes.
The right
I
shoes.
think that's something that we didn't realize. I think that going in as a reporter, I thought that, these people are just going to stand there and let me interview them or let me take a picture of them. I didn't realize that Spider-Man was going to run away from us, evade us, and that we were going to have to chase him down. Like, the very first time we found him, I had a tripod in my backpack and a camera. It was really hard to chase him down. So, and take this seriously. Like, Rebecca did give us a lot of advice, but it's because I feel like we were like, this is just an event for class. Like, I'm just going to get a grade on it. I didn't realize we had to actually take the role of a reporter and ask serious questions.
Yeah, at the beginning, I wasn't really, in my comfort zone yet, so I was kind of, shy, and I didn't really, know what to ask, but, once I started asking questions, I really got out of that comfort zone, and, I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed it, so.
I kind of had the opposite problem. When I finally cornered Spider-Man in the business center, he was tired as well. I asked him a ton of questions, all of which he evaded. And while I'm impressed that he stayed in character the whole time, it was really annoying that I went through all that work and got nothing for it, other than a list of all the places he had visited.
Yeah. So, Guadalupe, which team do you think did the best job during the crisis event?
So overall, I think the team that did the best.
Be biased. Come on.
Be biased. Come on.
I want to say the reporters, because we were the ones that were really out
Yes.
there trying to, do stuff. But then another thing is that the editors too, because they were also texting us and guiding us and telling us, hey, he's over here. But also, they're not always there with us. So, we find them on our own. So overall, I think it was us as the reporters.
Yeah.
The PR team did a great job, doing their thing. But at a certain point, it kind of felt like they were ignoring us as well. And that's not a good thing. Sarah mentioned that it's important to have a great relationship with reporters. But for this PR team, they kind of evaded us.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they got this idea that being rude to the reporters or dismissive towards them was what you're supposed to do as a PR person. So I think building relationships is key, and even as reporters, to be sure that we're assertive but also kind and seeking those relationships out as well
And
towards
remember,
them.
these are your classmates. Our PR team kicked Colt out of their fake office. Honestly, I don't think it had to get that far. Just politely be like, okay, you know what? I think this is, like, respect my space. Just don't, remember, these are your classmates. You're going to have to see them every day for the rest of the semester. So don't be mean. Be nice.
To be fair, I was being a little too aggressive with them, and in a real setting, they would have had an actual office with an actual door and actual lock. So it was just the editors kept pushing me to dig deeper and deeper, and I hit bedrock, so they kicked me out of their office. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure, like, if maybe they were being so snappy and aggressive toward the reporters is because maybe they didn't get all the information that they needed to answer the questions we were asking, or if they were just trying to play the role. I wasn't sure which was which, but yeah, like Guadalupe said, overall I think we did the best.
Yeah, go team. Well, this has been super fun, and thank y'all for taking the time to share your thoughts on this event with me. I'm Sarah Owen, signing off for the Wesleyan Mass Communications Department. Have a great day, and Rams up!